In a brand new interview with the Wall Street Journal, the very influential and very far-right politician who happens to be the national security minister in Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet, his name is Itamar Ben-Gvir, he made some rather controversial and explosive comments. He heavily criticized President Biden by name. He praised Donald Trump while also calling for Israel to resettle Gaza, claiming that handing out cash to Palestinians in Gaza will cause them to leave and live elsewhere. This interview has gained a lot of criticism within Israel, especially amongst the opposition. The opposition leader Yair Lapid tweeted that the comments are a direct attack on Israel's international status, a direct attack on the war effort. They're harmful to Israel's security, and above all, proves that he, meaning Ben-Gvir, understands nothing about foreign policy. I would like to call on Prime Minister Netanyahu to restrain him, but Netanyahu has no control over the extremists in his government. Talk to me about this. Most of us who follow sort of Israeli politics understand that Ben-Gvir and another couple of right-wing ministers are very influential, but sort of outside the mainstream of Israeli thought.
Kind of outside the mainstream, but the outsiders, the fringe, is kind of invading the mainstream. I mean, if you wanted to find an analog, you could almost say it's like we're seeing Trumpism creeping its way into the Republican Party back in 2016. I mean, it's almost a similar phenomenon, but this isn't new. And, you know, when it comes to the Israeli right, it's kind of like, as the kids say, Ben-Gvir was just saying the quiet part out loud. This was something that we've been hearing a lot. And in fact, last weekend, there was a big meeting in Jerusalem. I didn't get to go, but my colleague went, and she reported on this. It was a festival of right-wing personalities, including a couple of ministers, including, I believe, Ben-Gvir, all of them talking about how they wanted settlements to return to the Gaza Strip. Now, if you remember, the Gaza Strip is kind of the way it is now, because back in 2005, these settlers withdrew, and then the Hamas essentially took over about 2 years later after a vote that empowered Hamas. So now there's all of these folks who are watching the Gaza Strip being almost completely leveled by the Israelis over the past nearly 4 months, and they want to move their settlements back in. That was looking like a fringe, sort of like almost a Davos of right-wing Israelis in Jerusalem last weekend. But now you're starting to see this more and more frequently in the mainstream. Now, when we talk about Netanyahu not able to control his right-wing ministers, he can't really control them, but he's already empowered them. He needs their help
he's in power
in order to maintain his cabinet.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he has managed to stay in power for so long, and I think he's the longest serving prime minister of Israel, longer even than one of the founding fathers of this state, David Ben-Gurion. So, you know, he owes his legacy, he owes his strength to these right-wing ministers, including the finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich. These men are actually settlers. They are ministers, but they're actually settlers. They live in settlements in the West Bank, so they are part of the settler movement. They see Israel's mission as settling in the West Bank, what they call Judea and Samaria, and the Gaza Strip. So this is something that is going to be controversial to a lot of folks here. The Israelis I know, who are the ones who were out protesting, if you remember, last summer against Benjamin Netanyahu's so-called judicial reform bill that would have kneecapped the judges and allowed for the agenda, the right-wing agenda that Benjamin Netanyahu has always championed, which would involve, on some level, or could involve, annexing the entire West Bank. And that would mean the final death knell to the two-state solution, which has been sort of whimpering and dying for the past several decades anyway. But this is a dangerous moment for Israel, and one that could see not just the cabinet divided, but the entire Israeli society divided. It already has been, and that's one of the reasons a lot of folks say Hamas chose this moment to launch its